Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, it's been a while since I last did a vlog. I moved, I bought a house. I've been really busy playing a lot of gigs and things like that, as always, but it's time for another vlog, and today we're going to talk about working with promoters and clubs. There seems to be a common misconception, I think, when it comes to a lot of bands and artists and things like that, that when you're working with a promoter, if you're working with a promoter, that now that promoter is the guy who's in charge of everything having to do with the show, and moreover, that's the guy who's going to get tons and tons of people to come to your show. Not so. Here's the reason that's not so. The reason that that is not so is simply because you still have to promote to your network. And you can't just put a MySpace calendar listing on MySpace and then send out a little bulletin. Doesn't work. Get the flyer from the promoter that you're working with. Get all the information on the event. Send a press release out about the event that you're going to be playing it. Do the MySpace bulletin thing, do the adding it to your calendar and everything like that, but get on blogs that are local to where you live, forums that are local to where you live, things like that, and talk about the show. If you want the show to be big, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's up to you to help to make it happen because that promoter already has, in addition to your band, he or she has probably at least 3 to 4 other bands that he or she has to worry about getting to the show and also making that show get big and also dealing with the logistics of that show technically and things like that. They already have too much to worry about. They're not going to go out and consistently say, oh, so and so from wherever is playing. Doesn't really work. I mean, even Kanye West or anybody else big, they work with a promoter and it's the promoter's job to get word out about that show, but they know that they still have to do their own things when it comes to marketing that show and making sure that people know to go to that show. Of course, this train goes both ways, as with anything else. In addition to a band needing to work hard to promote a show and to promote a show well and things like that, promoters, there's some specific things you should really remember. And I've ranted about a lot of these things before on my blogs and things like that. But here's a fact: just because you get a big name onto your show, wherever it is, whatever it is, and whoever that name is, you're not immediately cool. And it doesn't make you better than everybody else in your town, in your scene. Doesn't matter how big or small your scene is, you're not cooler. Everybody thinks that they're sitting at the cool kids table if they get like a big DJ or a big band or something like that to come in. There is no cool kids table. All right, I'm going to say that again. There is no cool kids table because the cool kids table, if it existed, no one would be sitting at it because everyone who would sit at it would be out running around freaking out promoting a show and doing everything they can to make that show really good. So just because you get a big name does not make you immediately cool, and it doesn't mean that you're cooler than anybody else in the scene. It means you still need to work, and you need to work hard with everybody else in your scene. Um, in addition to this, whether or not you have a big name or not, you really need to be paying your talent. It's not fair, whether you're a promoter, a club owner, or anybody else, it is not fair to have a band haul all of their gear down to your club or your space or whatever else, wherever you're doing a show, and come in at load up time, which is generally at least an hour before the show starts. Load all their stuff in, hang out, play later on, hopefully play a good show, and then walk away at the end of the night with $15. It's not right. And the fact is, and I know a lot of people are going to be pissed at me for saying this, but the fact is, if you have a club, if you have a bar, anything like that, and you have a good night and people buy liquor and things like that, you made enough money to throw $100 towards the band. Here's the reason that that's a good idea. It's going to keep that band coming back, and therefore it's going to keep their fans coming back. It's going to keep them playing good music, which again keeps their fans coming back. And it's going to spread good karma for you throughout the scene. People are going to say, oh yeah, that club is awesome to play for. Their promoters and their owners treat bands great. They're really nice to them and things like that. And yeah, granted, you're greasing the gears with money here, but $100 is not too much because I'm sorry, as a musician, when I play, all right, and I see that I effectively brought in a good amount of people to that club that night, and I get $10 at the end of the night and a couple Rolling Rocks, you know what? It doesn't make me incredibly happy. And I'm not being greedy by saying that I think I deserve a little more money at the end of the night because bands are the entertainment. They're the reason that people come to a club very often. They're a reason that people come to a bar. Yeah, they're there to drink, and the drinking is nice and everything, but the fact that there's a good band or a good DJ really makes it a lot easier to stick around that place. And the keyword there, keywords, is stick around. That means that that person, that consumer, will continue to keep coming back to your club or to your space or whatever it is because they liked what they saw there. It's not just the liquor. You can't base everything just on, hey, we got liquor, everything's cool. Doesn't work. Closing notes on working with promoters and promoters working with bands. The thing to remember is that both sides, it goes both ways, both sides have to prove to somebody that they can make money. Both sides are trying to make money. Both sides are trying to be successful. So it's really best if both help each other out. If you're the band, help flyer, help get the word out about that show. If you're the promoter, continue to do what you're doing, helping to flyer and things like that, but work closely with that band to help them feel like you actually care about what they're doing. Get a hold of them early. Tell them where to be, when to be there, what's going to happen at the gig, stuff like that. Get their technical writer from the band so as to be able to say, okay, I can give you this and I can give you that. Communicate. Communication is the really big thing here, to communicate with each other. It doesn't matter which side you're on. You need to communicate. You need to say, we need this or we need you to do that or whatever. This is the really important stuff to do because this is the kind of stuff that makes a quality event or just makes another night where there's some stuff going on a stage and nobody has any fun. And if that keeps happening, you don't want to keep being a musician or a promoter. And you really don't want to deal with that now, do you? I didn't think so. So that's about it. I'm going to keep doing these things, of course, and I'm going to pick them up better now. I certainly hope, because now I'm finally more centered here and getting the studio set up and everything like that. So, as always, email me, brian@foink.net, brian.botkiller.com, and everything like that. Please rate, subscribe, comment, and tell your friends. I'd really like it if I wasn't just blabbering to myself here. That would be nice. It's fun, but it's kind of nice to do it with other people. Like a lot of other things. All right. Later.
De la communication parlée, je convertis la texte.